She said it like she was asking me to pass the salt. No hesitation, no tremor. Just a calm declaration as she tossed clothes into a small travel bag, the zipper screaming each time she pulled it. "I'm going on a trip with him," she said. "Don't like it? File for divorce." Then she smiled, thin, triumphant, rehearsed. And something inside me quietly broke. Not shattered, not exploded, just cracked. A hairline fracture no one hears but everyone eventually sees. She expected me to yell, to beg, to rage. I only watched the way her hands moved. Too fast, too eager, a little desperate. Like she needed this trip more than she needed oxygen. She hadn't bothered to hide it anymore. Her phone buzzed on the dresser. A message lit up the screen. "I'm outside. Take your time." I didn't move. She didn't look at me. The house felt smaller, as though the walls were listening, waiting. "Be good while I'm gone," she added, brushing past me with the smell of perfume she'd never worn for me. The door closed behind her. Silence returned like an old friend. I stood there for a long time, staring at the empty doorway. She thought she'd won something tonight. She had no idea what she'd just set in motion. At first, I tried to pretend I didn't know, that maybe I had misunderstood. People take trips, friends exist, boundaries blur. But she had crossed them long before tonight. The late-night work emergencies, the sudden gym memberships, the way she started locking her phone, turning it face down, clutching it like a lifeline whenever I walked by. Small things, insignificant on their own, devastating when stitched together. Still, denial is a soft, deceptive thing. It wraps itself around you like a warm blanket, whispering lies that feel gentle enough to believe. But that message on her phone, "Take your time," stripped the last layer off. I felt the truth press against my ribs, sharp and cold. I didn't chase her, didn't call, didn't spiral. Instead, I sat at the kitchen table and listened to the echo of her footsteps fading from my life. She wanted me to file for divorce, as a threat, a dare, a test she assumed I would fail. And for years, she'd been right every time. But not tonight. Because this wasn't a marriage anymore. It was a hostage situation disguised as love. And she'd just handed me the key. The betrayal didn't crush me. It clarified me. Something inside shifted, slow, deliberate, irreversible. If she wanted freedom so badly, I would give it to her, just not in the way she expected. Over the next few days, I moved quietly, unnoticed, forgotten. I gathered what I needed without emotion, as though I were cataloging someone else's life. Phone records, bank statements, location history, shared cloud storage she forgot I still had access to. Every piece told the same story. Late-night calls to a number saved under a fake name. Hotel charges 2 cities over weeks before this trip. Screenshots she thought she'd deleted. His hand on her leg, her smile just a little too wide. I didn't feel rage. I felt confirmation. The kind only given to people who stop lying to themselves. I visited a lawyer, signed papers, prepared everything with a precision that surprised even me. Still no anger, only logistics. I changed the locks on the basement door, packed her clothes neatly into bags and set them by the entrance, placed the divorce papers on the dining table with her name flagged in yellow. Every movement calm, measured, surgical. I left her wedding ring box open on the table beside the papers, empty, waiting. By the time she texted on the 3rd day, "Heading home, love," something colder than betrayal settled in my chest. She thought she'd return glowing, victorious, ready to weaponize guilt and spin tales of "just friends, you're overreacting, don't be insecure." She'd walk in smiling. I knew the script. She had used it before. But this time, the ending wouldn't be hers. It would be mine. She came through the door exactly as I predicted, radiant, smug, glowing with the kind of confidence people wear when they believe they've outsmarted the world. "Miss me?" she asked lightly. I didn't answer. Her eyes slid to the table. The papers, the bags, the open ring box. Her smile faltered. "What's this?" I handed her a folder, neatly organized, chronological, phone logs, photos, hotel reservations, screenshots of her messages. I watched her face collapse in slow motion. You went through my—" "No," I said quietly. "You left it all lying around. I only picked it up." She flipped through the pages, each one stripping another layer of her bravado. You misunderstood," she whispered. "It's not—" But the evidence spoke louder than she ever had. She looked at me with eyes full of panic, confusion, and the dawning horror of someone realizing they'd been playing a game without knowing the rules. I remained still, calm, untouched. A storm held together by will alone. "You said," I reminded her, "if I didn't like it, I should file for divorce." Her voice cracked. "I didn't mean it. I was angry. I didn't think you'd actually—" "I know," I said. "You never think I'll do anything." She reached for my arm. I stepped back. Her hand dropped. "This isn't fair," she whispered, as though fairness had ever been part of her vocabulary. I pointed to the table. "Divorce papers. Your bags are packed. Doors that way." The final remnants of her smile died. For the first time in years, she looked small, uncertain, afraid of losing something she never cared to protect. She tried to speak, some mix of apology, manipulation, and desperation, but the words tangled in her throat. Because she finally understood. I wasn't punishing her. I was freeing myself. And nothing terrifies a manipulator more than losing control. When she finally left, bags in hand, silence trailing behind her like a shadow, I didn't watch from the window. I didn't need to. The house felt different the moment the door clicked shut. Not lighter, just honest. I sat down at the table, staring at the empty ring box. Not a symbol of failure, a reminder of clarity. People talk about heartbreak as if it's always loud, violent, messy. But sometimes it's quiet, sterile, suffocating in its simplicity. She thought she'd won something by walking away with him. But the real victory was mine, because I finally walked away from her. I closed the ring box, placed it in a drawer, and exhaled slowly. Not relief, not joy, just truth. And truth is enough. Sometimes the coldest revenge is simply letting someone live with the consequences of their own choices.